Given that Pauline Hanson's capitulated over to the rich people's club, Gina Reinhart hanging around at Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's house, um, and given that one nation is going to hold the balance of power in the upper and lower house and in the Senate, with a new formed coalition, the next election, like I've been predicting all along, it's a coup d'etat. This should really bother you.
Well, this is shocking. At the Israeli-American Council, billionaires were asked how they buy and influence American politics. And they essentially, Miriam Adelson is a bit mum about it, but they don't deny that this is exactly what they're doing. Now, who are these billionaires? You have Haim Saban. He's an Israeli-American billionaire media executive. He is an extremely influential political donor, specifically to Democratic politics, whereas Miriam Adelson, there on the stage with him, donates to Republicans. So both sides there happily getting along, gleefully chatting about how they buy U.S. politicians, both the left and the right, completely bought off by Israeli billionaires. Haim Saban made his fortune in children's television. You probably know best Power Rangers. He was behind that. He's the founder of Saban Entertainment, co-founded Univision Communications. He's worth several $billion, gives tons of money to the Democratic Party, extremely close to Hillary Clinton and the Clinton political network. And he says he is a one-issue guy. And that issue for him is Israel. Miriam Adelson, on the other hand, is the wife of Sheldon Adelson, who owned casinos, Las Vegas Sands casino billionaires. She's a medical doctor, but her husband owning casinos. Major donor, political donor to the Republican Party in particular, has given hundreds of millions of dollars to Donald Trump, has promised to give him hundreds of millions more if he runs for a third term. She's also a one-issue person, and that is Israel. So when asked, how do you buy and exercise influence over politicians in the U.S., this is what Haim Saban had to say.
We had many sessions here about how important it is to get involved, to build a relationship with politicians, and to have access. And access and relationship can buy you influence, doesn't mean it's going to buy you. So you both master that. So can you share with us, I want everyone to learn today, how do you start, how do you build a relationship with a politician? I know there is always money involved because that...
He says this, you both mastered that, by the way. He says, you both mastered that, like the buying of American politicians. So how do you do it?
Part of the system. But the relationship is not always just about money, because to have the access and to have the relationship to create an influence, you need not just the money. So we have 4,000 people here. I want them to hear from the best, you and Miri, about how do you do that?
Well, you just get a guy named Epstein and you blackmail them with kiddie porn. That's what you do.
Well, Miri and Sheldon Yizichro Baruch have been much more generous than me, so why don't you turn around and ask her that?
Ask her, but you both made a lot of connection and made a big influence.
Now what I gave is this. This is what they gave is this. But it's the same principle. I understand what you're asking. I want to be cautious it's a system that we did not create. It's a system that's in place. It's a legal system. And we just play within the system. And that's it. I mean, it's just really quite simple. If you support a politician, you, under normal circumstances, should have access to be able to share opinions and try to help them see your point of view. That's what access grants you. And the contribution and the financial support grants you the access. So, I mean, those that give more have more access, and those that give less have less access. It's a simple math, trust me.
He's not wrong. It's not really their fault that they're able to do what they do. It's our fault. It's our system. The system's in place and our politicians are up for sale. And that should be very scary to everybody. You know, you got all these champions of Israel first, politicians who've been bought off by the Israelis, and you know they're just taking the money and saying what they need to say in order to placate their donors. But that donor could be anybody. I mean, it could end up eventually being the Chinese. I'm sure they're figuring it out. The Cubans were very powerful in Florida. Now the Israelis are very powerful in Florida and the rest of the United States, and soon it'll be the Chinese, or who knows who else. I don't know. I can't even, I wish I could predict the future. But it could be anybody, and that is because our system is set up that way, and he's not wrong in that. I do also want to point out, you know, and I wonder if this is lost on the America First, MAGA, we got to build America for America, why?
Did anybody ever stop to think that the Ricardo Boseys and so forth in the world, not just him, but a whole bunch of them, the Juan Sabin and all those people, anyone ever stop to think that maybe they're the blackmailers? Takes two for a blackmail to happen, a blackmailer and a blackmailee. The blackmailed. Someone's got to blackmail the blackmailed, don't they? Just saying.
In America, you know, that crowd, is it lost on them that these two have accents? I mean, I don't know. Do they realize, like, these people are from Israel, and yes, they've gained American citizenship, but they've come to this country from a different country, they've gained citizenship, and then they use a ton of money, and they openly say their one issue is their home country. They infiltrate our country, gain citizenship, in order to buy our politicians for the benefit of their home country. That, to me, is grounds for stripping your citizenship away if we were going to do that. You know, if they're going to talk about stripping citizenship, which they often talk about in that crowd, this would be the first two that you should take it from. But of course, they don't want to do that because that means they wouldn't get all that money. Now, Miriam Madison was asked the same question. This is what she says. Both parties want you to believe they're working for the people, but let's be honest. Washington is bought and paid for. Big corporations in Wall Street get bailed out while working Americans get left with higher prices, shrinking savings, and endless promises that never materialize. The system is corrupt, and when it breaks, they won't be the ones paying the price. We will. That's why I put my trust in something outside of their control. Physical gold and silver from American Hartford Gold. Precious metals are real, tangible, and they've held their value through every economic collapse in history. You can have them delivered straight to your home or secured in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. American Hartford Gold has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau and thousands of 5-star reviews. And right now, with health today.
Miri, you and Sheldon created a lot of relationship over the years with politicians at the state level, especially at the federal level. I want you to share with everyone why is it so important and how do you do it? Again, writing checks is part of it, but there is more than writing just checks. So how do you do it?
Can you allow me not to answer?
You choose.
I want to be truthful, and there are so many things that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want specific, but that's okay. But everyone should know here how important it is to get involved, because the reason that both of you were able to make huge differences is because you got involved. And you spent a lot of time and yes, a lot of money on it, but you got involved and you cared. And that's what everyone here need to know. That, you know, complaining and doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere. And you guys have done completely the opposite. So thank you both.
I mean, first of all, what is she talking about that she can't talk about? Okay, that's suspicious. Again, I'm just going to say Epstein again, so we don't forget. Is that what she means? Is, you know, these kind of dark operations of blackmail and other types of influence? That's just beyond money, for sure. And, right, I mean, openly talking about this is the right way to do it, guys. He's cheering this on, this guy who's leading this Israeli-American Council little forum here. This is the way to do it. We got to get in there and buy them up and influence them. And we get them to do what we want them to do for our country. That's what we've got to do. I mean, it is Wake up, America, wake up. And this is the fruits of their rewards a bit here. Here's Ron DeSantis. I want to show you this. He's tells the Israeli American Council that there's never been a Palestine, and that phrases from the river to the sea are equivalent to chanting about a second Holocaust.
When you say from the river to the sea, you are chanting in favor of a second Holocaust. That's what that means. Now, I do think some of these students are just ignorant. I don't think they understand even what they're talking about. You hear some of them talking about end the occupation of Palestine. And I just think they need a little history lesson. There has never been a Palestinian Arab state. Prior to the First World War, you had hundreds of years of occupation under the Ottoman Empire. It was not a Palestinian Arab state. Then you had the British Mandate for Palestine. Then you had a partition plan from the UN, Jewish state and Arab state. The Jews accepted the state and founded Israel. The Arabs rejected the state and they went to war to try to eradicate Israel, and they lost. And they went to war again, and they lost in 67 and 73 and throughout the intifadas. And so, no, that land historically has no stronger connection than any group of people except the Jewish people. It goes back thousands of years. Read your Bible.
So Ron DeSantis is there at the Israeli American Council. Obviously, he's going to run again for president when Trump is no longer eligible, if that day arrives. And he's there begging for money. He's wanting that Miriam Adelson money. That's what he's there to do. So he's there saying, look, I would be on your side. I'd continue the Israeli agenda. I mean, this is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. This is not America first at all. I also want to show you this clip. I mean, there's many examples of our politicians being bought off by Israel, but this is just a couple that I want to show you.
Just to get real on that, the nation state of Israel has never been a thing either. Okay, Israel was a people group. It's called Canaan. The Canaanites. Read your Bible.
You just as a reminder, but this is Florida and Georgia lawmakers, and they are pushing to adopt Judea and Samaria as the name of the West Bank, which is the term that the Palestinians reject. It's the term that the Israelis use for the region. And if they get their way, it's basically a way of erasing the Palestinian claim to any of the land. This is American lawmakers once again bought off.
It's an honor for that, and just a brief synopsis of the bill. We're just simply requiring all state documents to refer to the land which is called the West Bank by some as the biblical heartland, and the historical name Judea and Samaria. West Bank was it's about just rectifying and recognizing truth, and that's what we're going to stand by.
This is an important piece of legislation that Rep. Tremont and myself really care about.
Right. Palestine, right up through to Iran, is the Philistines. It's the original biblical Philistines. Israel is Canaan. So, your argument's fucking mute, mate.
And we truly need this to pass in our state of Florida to send a message that, we need to value our partnership and our allies, that we...
This bill, to recognize Judea and Samaria, they recognize God, they recognize justice, and they recognize our same values, and together, God willing, we will win. Thank you very much.
Proud to continue to support you and your sovereignty, of course.
There is a sovereignty, again, restoring the historical foundation, that it restores back what was really stolen many times when countries come in. They rename specifically to take away that identity and foundation. So this really does bring back the strength historically, again, the sovereignty to be able to take back and and possess the very land that is yours by heritage. And so we stand with you on these things.
We're going to have to do a lot of renaming of some of the states in this country, and even just the entire country itself, if we're going to go back to the original names. I mean, this logic, of course, there's no logic behind it. There's just a lot of money behind it, and a lot of influence behind it, and a lot of brainwashing and blackmailing, and that is what's behind our politicians waving the Israeli flag, gleefully censoring Americans, controlling U.S. politics, and they brag about it openly. And so many Americans are unfortunately still blind to it. But many, many are opening their eyes, waking up. And that is what we need to do, absolutely, is wake up to this, gain our country back. I'm not sure how we do it. We have to change the rules, clearly, because it's not just Israel that's able to use this system. It's anybody is able to infiltrate and start buying off our politicians to, I mean, we've seen this with industries. But, you know, I'm less offended by it coming from a U.S. industry, like a U.S. corporation or U.S. industry, American industry that's buying up influence. That's like your own family talking, you know, crap at you. You know, you're squabbling with your own family members, and you could have those discussions. But when it's somebody from outside of your family, when it's these foreigners that come in and they're literally trying to control our politics, not for the benefit of their lives in America, of their particular group of people in America, that's one thing. But they're advocating for the benefit of a foreign country, and that is what we have to somehow change the rules of the game in order to prevent this from happening now and from happening again. Thanks for watching this clip from the full Kim Iverson Show, which you can catch Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, for free at Kim Iverson.
That should terrify you.
Skipping it up. Yeah, then. Yeah. Oh. Good. Hey, on 9 degrees. The rest on? Oh, I have the soup. Having soup. I'm doing a cooking show. Apparently. Might be the... Nah, just video look. Keep good.
Oh, I'm back. Just cooking show, you know? Bork. Ah, that should terrify you. That should terrify you. That's America. Welcome to the 52nd state of the United States of Israel. What do you think's going on with our parliament at the moment? With the split between the Nationals and the coalition members? They're forming a coup, a party to it's a coup d'etat. It's what it is. What you're watching, what we're witnessing right now in Australia is the definition of a coup d'etat. We're caught up in the middle of this shit. How? Through AUKUS, through NATO, through the World Economic Forum. Trump isn't dismantling the World Economic Forum. Trump is the World Economic Forum. We're just in the way. Cannon fodder.